the morning, y'all, coming to you from little old Mississippi, where we know how to act right and we know what bathroom to use. It's a beautiful thing. In case you missed the president of El Salvador because you're working yesterday, it got wild. I mean, really, really wild. And I'm sure you missed it because you were working really hard providing welfare for Democrats who were all sitting there on their front porch in Scooby-Doo pajamas rolling a fat one. You know, you got to work hard to provide for that. But I want to tell y'all real quick, this video is sponsored by Patriot Mobile. I was sitting on the front porch of our new place out in the middle of nowhere. My buddy had to call his wife and he goes, "I got 1 bar." My buddy over here goes, "Yeah, I got 1 bar too." Well, I had 3, and we're in the middle of freaking nowhere. All of them at the same time goes, "Well, who's your provider?" And I got to say, Patriot Mobile. They're the only Christian conservative wireless provider out there, and when we switch with them, we're literally voting with our wallets and getting amazing service. Tons of y'all jumped on last time when I mentioned them, and I want a whole bunch more of y'all to jump on now. PatriotMobile.com/buddy. You're gonna get the first month of service free with promo code BUDDY. I'm gonna put the link right there below. So, what started out as just a cordial, happy, amazing meeting with the president of El Salvador turned into a Trump and El Salvador president complete smackdown of CNN yesterday. You might know this woman right here. She works at CNN. Her name is Caitlin Collins. Actually, it's like 50-50 if she's even a woman, but she's usually in the very, very front row, and she has been for a long, long time, listening to Satan give her the questions in her ear and then asking them to Caroline Leavitt or Trump or whoever be. As y'all might know, the USA and El Salvador have both jointly thrown a whole bunch of murderers, rapists, and pedophiles back in El Salvador, locked them away, threw away the key and all that kind of stuff. And this is where my favorite new Trump staffer comes in, Stephen Miller. He's our flamethrower. Check this video out.
And that's what the Supreme Court held, by the way, to Marco's point. The Supreme Court said exactly what Marco said, that no court has the authority to compel the foreign policy function of the United States. We won a case 9-0, and people like CNN are portraying it as a loss, as usual, because they want foreign terrorists in the country who kidnap women and children. But President Trump, his policy is foreign terrorists that are here illegally get expelled from the country, which, by the way, is a 90-10 issue.
Well, Mr. President, you said that if the Supreme Court said someone needed to be returned, that you would abide by that. You said that on your response just a few days ago.
How long do we have to answer this question from you? Why don't you just say, isn't it wonderful that we're keeping criminals out of our country? Why can't you just say that? Why do you go over and over? And that's why nobody watches you anymore. You have no credibility. Please, go ahead.
Wow, right? I mean, and she's still yapping too. Literally, I mean, what does she want? These murderers, rapists, and pedophiles to not only stay in America, but live next door to her and join her family? Because that's the way she's acting. I really believe this woman and her network are satanic. Because when you fight this hard, y'all, to keep evil thriving, can I just say on a serious note, y'all, that I really still believe that God has given us a 4-year window. A 4-year window, and we came this close to all-out judgment. If that town drunk over here known as Kamala Harris actually would have gotten it, we came this close, y'all. If she'd have gotten in office, we'd be just like the UK. Arresting people for a Facebook post. Taking all the guns away and making those completely disappear. Matter of fact, the UK doesn't even exist anymore. Truth be told, El Salvador is more of an ally to the USA now than the UK is. I mean, prove me wrong, you know what I'm saying? So hear me out when I say this. He won't be in there forever, y'all. And you got to ask yourself, how would you live the next 4 years if you knew this was it, right here, if this was the window? Because we're not living on easy street. We're in a grace period right now, and mental illness is still soaring rampant, to all-time highs. AOC and Bernie Sanders are literally selling out arenas right now. The demons are banging on the gates, trying to get in. And y'all know I'm a huge baseball fan. I've loved it all my life. When you're in the bottom of the 9th inning and the score's tied 5-5, you bring in your closer. That right here is who I'm talking about, Stephen Miller. I mean, Pam Bondi was in the room, and I'm not really sure why she was there. I really think that Pam Bondi would be a great hostess at one of Trump's restaurants. She's got the confidence of a first-year teacher right out of college walking into a room full of 8th grade boys. It ain't going well. You need your closer to walk in there in the bottom of the 9th inning, face those 3 batters, and shut them all down. And I see Stephen Miller being that all-star that we need because he can do the same things that Trump and Vance can do, which is command that heightened energy and heightened respect while eat you alive at the same dadgum time. Matter of fact, I feel like sometimes it's even more powerful coming from him because you expect it from Trump and Vance. But CNN never expected to get the smackdown they did from Miller. If this cabinet looks really good, I just want to remind y'all, it's because they're not doing it on their own. Trump started his cabinet meetings, if you remember, with prayer, asking God for wisdom. So, and look, this video is just like this, what Stephen Miller just did, proves all of that because they're getting divine help. And I hope this whole cabinet will continue to rely on God, right? And not lean on their own talents, because talent is it's a sketchy thing, y'all. You can have that gift all day long, but if you forget the giver, then you're right back to nothing. Y'all be good.